Hello, and welcome to my Tyrion Cuthbert? Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane playthrough. Yeah, I'm playing this. So as usual, when I play a visual novel on this channel, I always try to be as blind as possible going into these. And I basically know nothing about this game. The only thing I know, which is, this is pretty relevant, I guess, but I think this is basically just Ace Attorney, but with magic. Which is just Ace Attorney, because, spoilers, but Ace Attorney does literally have magic in it. It is, like, an important part of some of the cases. But I guess it's Ace Attorney, but with more magic. But apart from that, I don't know anything about this game. I think this is an English VN, right? I think so. But yeah, that's pretty much all I know about it. I think the reason I decided to play this is because the past two games I played on this channel were a bit more, I don't want to say heavy, but they were a bit more, what's the word? Literary? Like, they were a bit more, you know, like, serious maybe. Like, because the last two games I played were Fata Morgana and Seabed. So I guess I wanted to play something that's maybe a little bit lighter, I assume, if it's based on Ace Attorney. A little bit lighter, maybe a little bit easier to read, you know? So yeah. Don't have anything else to say. Settings. Okay, this menu does not look great, but that's okay. Okay, I want something for this. Oh. C, I guess? Okay. I guess they aren't mapped because there's gonna be like buttons on the screen to do this, right? Like surely there's a way to open the text log without having it mapped. Okay, volume's fine. Sure. Might have to up the text speed also. Character emotes, what does that mean? Okay, let's just start. Oh, the menu's a little bit bugged. Uh-oh. Okay. Wait, crowdfunders. Is this a Kickstarter game? Shout out to Happy Dude 11209. Big ups. But yeah, whatever I select on the menu stays selected. Okay, anyway. New game. Okay, I can just start any of the cases. And I guess we'll start with case 1, right? Surely? The Cold-Hearted Aristocrat. Play episode. Yeah. Okay. What would have happened there? Okay, hang on. I want to try something real quick. Because, hang on. I could still click on the menu after having started the chapter. Like, what if I click really quickly here? Okay, it's fine. Okay, it did open the option in the menu, but I think it didn't do anything. Okay. Let's start for real. The Cold-Hearted Aristocrat. In the kingdom of Wyverngard, there was a gulf between what was lawful and what was just. Isn't that everywhere? Artificery ran in the houses of the aristocrats. Disease and vermin ran through the homes of the common folk. People suffered, people died. Also, the mages of the nobility could keep their plates full and their lives comfortable. Nevertheless, they still wanted us to have the illusion of hope. They challenged us to win, leaving out the fact that they were the ones setting the rules. Many just threw up their hands, and no one could blame them. You could never lose if you never played. Okay, this is literally Ace Attorney. Why is the name of the game's window Tyrion 1? Is there a Tyrion 2? Riss Rudolph. Occupation servant, age 34. Arcane art none. Damn unlucky. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard the disturbance. Okay, where's the log? Text log? Okay. Client in my carriage. Is this just a modified Rempe? It kind of feels like it. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. Word that something was amiss, I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. That was when I saw the defendant, lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flintheart and her sword was shining with magical energy. Okay.
Objection!
Oh. Okay. Defense attorney, age 20, arcane art nun. Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim, and you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so. Yes, I could never forget it. It was burned into my memory. I see. It's funny that you say that. What? Because your entire testimony was a complete lie. Wait, where's my evidence? Do I have an attorney badge? Oh. Practicing defense attorney and the best chess player in all of Warvengard. He's so cool. The entire testimony was a complete lie. What? Oh, she's cute. What are you trying to imply, Mr. Cuthbert? Arya Steelwind. 18? Evocation. Steelwind, think about the state of the crime scene. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less homicide. Maybe their rules and institutions were impossible. Maybe I was just a grain of sand trying to stand against an ocean. But I would never stop rising, no matter how many times they tried to drown me. I would do it again and again if it meant that I could give hope to even one person. That was why I fought. Ooh. The cold-hearted aristocrat. Is this gonna be a tutorial case since it's case 1? Sweat was soaking through my suit. The air of the countryside was choking me. I fumbled with the leather reins, tugging at them tightly. Where did this idiot learn how to drive? Is the horse talking to me? Age 5. Animals were funny like that. You never know it, but they were constantly making their objections known. I caught many complaints like that through my eye of a horse. Excuse me? Does your eye of a horse let you talk to animals? 46? Cuthbert, keep the courage steady. Ruby Timora. My mentor and legal guardian. She raised me after my mother was killed and taught me everything I know about being an attorney. Okay, is your mother being killed going to be case 5? I feel like I've played enough of these games to... Yes, Miss Timora. My mentor barely looked up from her runestone. She was staring at some magical projections, probably some court files from a case she was working on. I stared longer than I should have. I just passed a legal certification exam, which only meant that a runestone of my own was coming my way. I just had to prove myself, and this trip was a perfect opportunity. Dissidence was brewing in the countryside, and we were on our way to meet with one of the voices of the revolution. The village we were driving to was nearly at the edge of the eastern border, far from the capital and the kingdom's center. I gotta... Usually when I play VMs in this channel, I like to take notes of everything, but I don't know if I should for this. Because, I mean, it's like a Ace Attorney thing, right? I mean, there's not really a point to taking notes, because everything is solved within the case that it's being presented in. And also you get evidence, like, for everything. For everything relevant, so... Here, we run the risk of running into the military forces deployed to silence voices like his. Wait. Okay. Whoever this Flintheart McCoy was, Mr. Moore's business with him must have been worth all this trouble. Mr. Moore, maybe you should switch with me. Now what would you learn if I did that? Maybe I was worried about nothing. Practical experience was always a key part of learning whenever she was involved. Why else would she quietly sit there, immersed in her court files? Ag! Child! Did I rock to scream out in pain? I grabbed the reins and pulled them with everything I had. The horses slowed to a stop. The child was laying face down in the dirt. A puddle of red was spilling under her. Scaled Lord. Is that like, oh god, in this world? Who is the Scaled Lord? I wasn't sure what to do. I wish I'd never procrastinated reading those first aid books. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I am ESL. So sometimes I like stumble on the word and I can't pronounce it. I looked at my mentor. She'd approached the scene quietly and slowly. Her eyes went to the child. Okay, is that the emotes that I could turn off in the settings? Then to the surrounding forest. She seemed to be searching for something. She was wearing the same expression she used when inspecting a crime scene. Why would a kid be out in the middle of nowhere? Is this an insurance scam? Mr. Mora. I said we keep driving and never speak of this again. Mr. Mora, she's just a child. Oh, the pain. I can see the light. Can you read people's thoughts? Oh, that's what your thing does, the Eye of Horus or whatever. That's why you could hear what the horse was thinking. Okay. Okay, the child is very happy. Oh, this is an ambush. They're trying to ambush you. Keep going. Oh, the pain. I can see the light. I got a puzzling thought through my Eye of Horus. Late to his cue, a man clad in plate armor leaped out of some nearby bushes and stumbled towards us. He planted his feet firmly on the ground in front of us, puffing out his chest. By the Scaled Lord! Look what you've done! Where's the Scaled Lord? The Scaled Lord! I think I can see him. My family, who all died of the plague in 589, they're also there. Her lines were historically accurate. Damn it, Alma, mentioning that plague is overkill. This poor child, she's dead because of you. Okay, this is an insurance scam. This is a serious crime. The fine is 10, no, 20 gold pieces. 20 gold pieces. The average sentence for vehicular manslaughter was 2 years of imprisonment. You guys know all those like Russian dash cams that are just like people like jumping in front of cars for the insurance money? Oh, vehicular manslaughter. The average sentence for vehicular manslaughter is 2 years of imprisonment. There is no fine. Okay, you see, this is a thing about these types of games. Like, if that didn't get put into my evidence like bag, I probably wouldn't have like remembered this detail, and I probably wouldn't have thought that it was an important clue. But now, since it was put here, I know this is going to be used later. So that's why I don't think it's going to be that relevant to take notes for this. Oh, sorry, my phone. I have no choice but to arrest you unless you can pay this fine. Oh, that's what this is. I side-eyed a child, apparently named Alma. I spotted tiny tomato seeds in her pool of blood. Okay, isn't being able to read people's thoughts, like, incredibly overpowered? You might want to call someone to retrieve Alma's body then. Especially if you're a defense attorney. Wait, like what? Her eyes opened and her head whipped up to look at me. We locked eyes for a second before her head fell back onto the ground. Though I guess Phoenix did have the fucking Magatama. That was always something that bothered me in Ace Attorney. Like, Phoenix has a magical item which lets him tell when people are lying. Like, how does he not instantly know who the culprit is? He could just like ask every witness, "Are you the culprit?" And the Magatama would just like show him whether they're lying or not. He only used this strategy one single time. The one time he asked someone if they were the culprit to check with the Magatama, it was in case 2-4. And obviously the one time he did it was the one time it didn't work. Because, oh, he didn't technically kill him. But like, I don't know, man. That's always something that's bothered me a bit. I looked at my mentor again, but she just leaned her head and gestured towards the two con artists. It appeared that I was being given another learning opportunity. I couldn't complain though. I didn't appreciate being treated like an easy mark. Argument! This is like the investigation games. Oh, who's that? You've started an argument. Defeat your opponent by lowering their confidence. Picking the correct option will do damage to your opponent. However, picking the wrong options will do damage to your confidence. Use context and clues to determine which option to pick. Okay. Anyway, what will it be? You'll be taken to the barracks. Barracks? Well, you pay your fine, or do we need to sort this out at the barracks? During arguments, you'll sometimes be asked to pick one from 3 possible dialogue responses. The correct dialogue will depend on the context of your opponent's claim and their psychological profile. Okay, is this just like vibes based? What do you mean psychological profile? I don't know. I don't know this guy. You'll be taken to the barracks. Call. I mean, I don't think you really have barracks if you're just like a con artist. So maybe I can just call you out. Comply. No, fuck that. It was obviously just accident. I think call them out. Certainly. Why don't you bring us back to your barracks? What? But it is strange that you bring us to your barracks instead of the dungeon. Okay, wait. Let me just Google how that's pronounced, because they keep saying it. Oh, this is one of those games that freezes when I click outside the window. That's kind of annoying. Barracks. It is strange that you bring us to your barracks instead of the dungeon. Oh, you also probably want to call your unit to escort us. After all, it'd be dangerous for one knight to transport 2 criminals by himself. Shut up, don't think you can talk your way out of this. Pay the fine for your crimes. Are you seriously going to make me take you in? Just pay the damn fine. During arguments, you'll sometimes be asked to present pieces of evidence in response to a claim. Okay, that's why we got the thing about the... Okay. Look at your opponent's claim carefully and present the item that contradicts it. Present. Except a crime like this wouldn't involve a fine at all. What? Vehicular manslaughter has an average sentence of 2 years of imprisonment. With the death of a child, though, I could see the Crown pushing for more than that. Yeah. Who the hell are you? I'm a defense attorney. I could recite every one of the kingdom's laws back to you. The knight looked nervously between Miss Timora and me. That's it. His hand shot to the rusty sword hanging from his side. He fumbled with it for a bit before pulling it out and waving it at us. I took a step back. My mentor put herself in front of me. I'll use violence if I have to. Enough talk. Give us the goal and I won't have to hurt either of you. Come on, give up. I can't move that wall in this fake armor. Okay. During arguments, your Eye of Horus will show your opponent's thoughts and emotions after they make a claim. Compare your opponent's thoughts to the claim to pick the correct option. Okay. Logic. Use when the opponent's thoughts contradict the evidence. Intuition. Use when the opponent's thoughts contradict their claim. What's the difference? Empathy. Use when the opponent's emotions contradict their claim. Okay, I guess by emotion you mean this little thing at the top. This is also in this Eternity, right? With what's her name? The girl with the red hair. Athena. She has this little widget thing, right? I guess this is this. I stared at his plate armor. On a closer look, it seemed to be varnished wood, painted to give off a metallic sheen. Is it? I can't tell. I reached past his sword and knocked on his breastplate. He let out a hollow tongue instead of a resonant clang. I didn't know the kingdom was cutting back. Will this even protect you in a fight? Are you threatening me? With litigation, perhaps? I have a sword. You won't use it. Look, let's just cut the charade. It's not happening. This is a good opening. Argument 1. Alma rose. I like that mini game more than the one in Investigations, I think. Alma rose from the dead and began wiping the rotten crushed tomatoes off her shirt. Sorry, I thought that stuff about the plague would help. I'm tired of eating porridge. Don't worry about it. It's still morning. Someone else will come by. The road's been empty for days. What if they're the only ones? Is that a real dragon or is that a statue? The kingdom of Wyverngard, established 613 years ago by the 7 High Archmages, ruled by King Oliver and the mages of his nobility. Wait, didn't we have a year earlier that was like 511 or something? Oh, the evidence disappeared. Oh. My mentor in legal garden assures me after my mother. Okay, yeah, we saw that. So this kingdom was established before that? By the 7 Higher Archmages, ruled by King Oliver and the mages of his nobility. King Oliver. Or Olivier, I guess. Okay. They often preached our large kingdom as a land of prosperity and happiness, a nation where its people shared the wealth and succor created by its magic. Here. I took out a neatly wrapped sandwich from my satchel and held it out to Alma. What? You'll probably find this more filling than porridge. The man narrowed his eyes, appraising me like the knight he'd been impersonating. He snatched a wrapped sandwich from me, peeling back the bread to inspect its contents. His mouth salivated as he caught a whiff of the sliced deli meat. The poison to be found, apparently, he handed to Alma, who eagerly began munching down on it. I was probably the first person to share any wealth or succor with them in a long time. Just tell me one thing. What gave it away? I can read your thoughts, that's what gave it away. What do you mean? I spent a while sanding this armor down. I had to go through 3 attempts just to get it perfectly smooth. I even mixed the paint myself. It's got the sheen and everything. How do you know it was fake? I can read your thoughts is the thing, so yeah. I thought to myself for a while. You clearly went for woad, mather, and weld for your paint. I'm also guessing you used a touch of gall ink for the shadows. Why is he pretending to be like an expert? You just read his thoughts. They're decent choices if you're trying to paint a shield, but they're useless if you're trying to mimic the complex nooks and edges of plate armor. You just blinked at me. Seriously? You're lying. Plate doesn't tint that way. A real plate catches the ambient light in cold tones. Your mix was a little too warm. He's just lying. He shook his head, wide-eyed. There's aura forming. He's pretending to be Sherlock Holmes when he can just read people's thoughts. Cuthbert, was that stuff about the paint really true? Chuckle. No, I just read it from his mind. Yeah. Did you see the look on his face? I kind of understand why my mom enjoyed fortune-telling so much. He said nothing in response. Her eyes were locked in my satchel, now 1 meal short. I'll be fine. They're probably skipped a lot more meals than I have. In case you've forgotten, they were trying to scam us. If they really wanted to hurt anyone, they throw away the fake armor just use the sword. If this really follows Ace Attorney, this girl is gonna die either this case or the next case. We should be helping our fellow commoners, right? Isn't that why we practice law? Just don't expect me to share my lunch with you. I spent a good 15 minutes haggling for those sandwiches. Do we even need to haggle? It's a matter of principle. You give anyone an inch and they'll take a mile. The backgrounds are nice. We arrived at Corn Haven, but I smelled the stench before I even spotted the village. The smell of rotting meat and excrement hung in the air. I had to fight the urge to retch, but I did my best to swallow my disgust. I'd been begging Mr. Moore to take me on her outings for years. I couldn't show weakness now. Are you okay? I'm fine. I was just surprised. Did you expect a ruling lord to install modern plumbing in a village like this? I guess I never really thought about it. You'll get used to it once you travel more. This is just how things are in the other regions. Are there other kingdoms? It really made me appreciate the clean and sanitary streets of the capital. There, the streets and homes were loaded with artistry. We had clean and running water. We had lights that didn't rely on oil and flame. It was as if this village existed in a different time period. I reprimanded myself. I wasn't above this. The people here were commoners, just like me. They only divided like this out of a lack of care from the kingdom. They only lived like this out of lack of care from the kingdom. Take a left here. The tavern should be at the edge of town. Why are you meeting with a rebel? If the reports are right, this should be the place. Oh man, I'm so bad at reading. Is this really a meeting place for dissidents against the crown? Flintheart had done an amazing job of disguising their headquarters as a rundown shack. The tavern's been shut down for years. Nowadays, Flintheart and McCoy just use it to host his rallies. Hey, you lot! The McCoy Tavern is closed! The distant leaders turned towards our carriage as we parked. He had a roughness to him that matched the state of his tavern. He was practically growling at us with every word. He got close to Miss Tamore's face, his feet firmly planted on the ground. She was unflinching, of course, standing her ground as he leered at the two of us. I take it you're Flintheart McCoy? What's it to you? Age 52, leader of the revolutionary faction in Cornhaven and owner of the McCoy Tavern. Was he the victim? I think so, right? He seems to have an extreme grudge against mages and the nobility, but that sentiment tends to be common nowadays. Except for not writing ahead of time, but my messages weren't getting through. I'm Ruby Tamara. I've been trying to get in touch with you, Flintheart. How are you sending messages? What do you mean your messages weren't getting through? What? His eyes narrowed for a bit before widening in recognition of the name. Wait, Ruby Tamara? Why didn't you say so? Come on in. His tone flipped to jovial in an instant. Now it was as if he were greeting an old friend. I was surprised people out here even knew who she was. I'd have thought her infamy had only spread in the city. I guess he acknowledged her as an ally. They both had a common enemy after all. It's a big tavern. Excuse the mess, we haven't exactly seen a lot of guests. It's fine. My mentor looked around warily as she brushed aside a spider web hanging in front of her. So what brings you here? I thought someone like you has anything to see out here. One of my clients has been trying to talk to you. We have a proposition that you'll be interested in. I raised my eyebrow at her. This was the first time I'd heard of this client. Is there anywhere where we could talk in private? I got a bunch of empty rooms upstairs. Perfect. Cuthbert, stay here for a moment. Don't you need my help? There's no need for that. How is there no need? The Eye of Horus could extract anything she needed from him. A glare overruled my objection before I could get it out. Can only you use the Eye of Horus, or can you give it to her and she could use it? Without another word, they went up the stairs. I drummed my hands on a dusty table, looking around the tavern. It definitely had a lot of personality, if one counted dust and insects as character traits. Faint murmurs echoed from the ceiling, slightly stressed. It sounded like their conversation was becoming more frustrated. I brought a small chessboard from my satchel. Even after a decade, it had served me well. Is this where the guy's gonna die? Chess could be played with one person, something that I'd always taken advantage of. No, it can't? What do you mean chess can be played with one person? It can be played by one person if you play both sides, but you're not really playing chess at that point. I had a match with the Duke of Commerce scheduled in a few months. I wasn't too worried about him, but I might as well take this opportunity. Checkmate. She's so cool. I lost again while playing as white. That was 3 times now. Oh, hello. Okay, you're my assistant. Hello. Statistically, white was more likely to win, so why was I performing better as black? Yeah, don't you have to be really bad to lose 3 times in a row as white? I'm not an expert on chess, but I'm pretty sure, like at the top level, when you're playing as black, you go for the draw, because it's very, very hard to win as black, unless you're like way better than your opponent. Was I becoming overconfident as white because it had an advantage? Hello? It had a very advantage that could be affecting my choices and making me play suboptimally. If a personal quirk was making me play like this, I needed to identify and correct it. Hey! Ah! I nearly toppled out of my seat when she tapped me on the shoulder. She stepped back and flashed me a soft grin. Her body swayed playfully, amused by how flustered I was. Okay, you don't live here, right? Your clothes look too fancy to be someone who lives in this village. Her posture was unguarded. It was as if she never felt threatened in her life. She was holding a large exotic sword in her right hand, but I barely even noticed it. As a warm and bright aura washed over me, it pulled away any tension and unease I might have felt. Sorry, I was distracted. You know the McCoy Tavern is closed, right? But if you're okay with keeping things off the books, I can prepare a room for you. No, that's fine. I'm just waiting for my mentor to finish speaking with Flintheart. Oh, someone's talking to my dad? Your dad? Okay, never mind. You do live here. Your clothes look way too fancy, I feel. Your dad, I'm Flynnhart's daughter, Celeste. Celeste McCoy. The only daughter of Flynnhart McCoy. She's cheerful and sweet, and also a little intimidating. I'm Tyrion. Nice to meet you. Do you know when they'll be done? I wanted to show him something. Just call her Maya, man. Just get it over with. The mumbling upstairs was becoming more frustrated. Celeste tilted her head as she looked at the ceiling, but she soon got distracted by my chessboard. Wait, this game is chess, isn't it? Are you playing against someone? Oh, I was playing by myself, actually. Oh, playing alone helps me hone my strategies. Plenty of professionals do it. Hey, don't worry about it. I'm not the type to shame a man for playing with himself. Whoa-ho-ho-ho. I just chuckled as she drank in my reaction. I looked away from her before clearing my throat. Have you ever played it before? I've read about it in some books a while ago. This room is always so dusty. Inviting herself, she sat down in the chair opposite mine. She brushed off some dust from the table with her sleeve and began setting up her side of the board. Where did the horse go again? The horse? Checkmate. It only took 2 moves. What do you mean 2 moves? You what's it called? The fool's mate? It only took 2 moves. She'd fallen into a classic trap. I felt a little guilty, but my mentor always said that failure was the best teacher. Wait, what? Already? How did you do that? I decided against telling her the name of that mate. She just grumbled under her breath as we both moved their pieces back into place. So what kind of business does your mentor have with my dad? I'm honestly not sure. She doesn't really tell me much. I think it has something to do with his dissidence against the crown. Sorry, should I not be saying that out loud? It's fine. Our sprites are pretty cute. She stroked her chin as her hand moved and hesitated over each of her pieces. Is that her skin, or does she have like skin-colored tights or something? She hadn't realized that she'd been led into another trap. Here, she moved her knight into position to attack my queen. She blocked my initial assault on her king, but checkmate. Let's call his mate this time. What? How do you keep doing that? The more you play, the more you'll be able to recognize specific boards. You'll get the hang of it in time. She just glared at the board. I glanced at the ceiling. Mr. Moore and Flynnhart's arguments was only getting worse. It didn't sound like it would be done anytime soon. I figured out what the problem is. Is it that you keep mobilizing your pieces without intention? It's food, Tyrion. I need food. Isn't this literally a Maya sprite, like with the arms like that and pouting a little bit? She stood up and stomped towards the kitchen, but not before spinning around back at me. We're not done. Don't you dare leave. I wonder when you're going to be accused of murder. A few minutes later, she returned carrying a gigantic slab of cooked meat on a small plate. I stared at it for a while, wondering if she was planning to eat all of that in one sitting. She began setting up her side of the board with one hand while holding a fork and knife in the other. You're gonna eat the raw meat? She was somewhat trailing both utensils in her right hand. This was between them. Oh, the cooked meat. It doesn't look cooked here, but okay. She delicately carved a small bit of meat with a knife before spinning to a fork to bring it to her mouth. She tilted her head at me and swallowed the bite whole. Hey, it's your move. We can see Occupation Mercenary, Arcane Art Transmutation. Is that transforming things into other things? Mercenary, okay. Right. For someone who had never played before, she was quickly improving with each game. It took me a while before I even noticed, but she was adapting to my strategies and trying to use them against me. She caught me unaware a few times. At the rate she was learning, she would easily surpass a nationally ranked noble with enough practice. Checkmate. But I'd been playing this game far longer than she had, and I was ranked far above the average noble. She just narrowed her eyes on me. How are you always one step ahead of me? It's like you're reading my mind. I could, but I never allowed myself to when playing. I hope not. I'll get you this time. She began placing the pieces back in place when my stomach growled loudly. Celeste blinked at me, startled for a moment, and then she giggled. Teehee? Excuse me, have you eaten anything? No. Oh. She looked around for a moment before her eyes went to her slab of mystery meats. Do you want some of this? We have a lot. No, I couldn't possibly. My stomach reprimanded me with another loud rumble. Against my protest, she spun the knife in her hand and carved a bite of meat. She started to playfully wave the fork in front of my face expectantly. Okay, calm down. Do you have another fork? Come on, don't be like that. Oh my god, an indirect kiss! I wanted to object, but I was too hungry to argue. I just bit down on the fork. That was when I felt quite the jarring texture. The meat was tough and fibrous. I had to consciously chew through the leathery sinew, lest I choke on it. I never tasted such a distinct, greasy tang before. I realized that I never actually asked her where this meat came from. Is it gonna be like griffin meat or something? How is she eating this so quickly? How is it? Well, it's certainly unique. Yeah, bear meat is kind of weird like that. Bear meat. Oh, okay. As I questioned every decision that had led me to this point, Mr. Moore and Flynnhart came down from upstairs. My mentor's face was stoic as always, but some frustration bled through. That was never a good sign. Hi, Dad. Oh, hello, sweetie. You really don't look like your dad at all. Flynnhart's expression lit up as his daughter rushed over to him. I meant to glance at this chessboard on the table. She never really took an interest in chess, but she knew that I'd been undefeated since I was 10 years old. Isn't that insane? Undefeated since you were 10? That's insane, right? Don't feel too bad about losing to him. He's nationally ranked. I mean, even like, I know Magnus Carlsen is like way better than every other chess player. He's like by far the best chess player, and he loses very like commonly, especially when he was 10 years old. That's crazy. What? You never told me that. I can't believe you'd exploited a newbie. If only. Is that what your suit is for? Are you some kind of traveling chess player? No, chess is just a hobby. I'm a defense attorney. I didn't even know we had attorneys in Warvencard. They're definitely a dying breed, the competent ones anyway. Speaking of, we should probably get going. I hate to refuse you after you came all this way. I respect what you're doing, but I won't work with these mages of yours. Mages? Mr. Moran mentioned that before. What was this mystery client a mage? Okay, so from what I'm gathering, the Eye of Horus thing, he needs to actively use it. Like, it doesn't work on its own. Because he said he made a point to not using during chess games. So did he like intentionally check to see what she was thinking? Why would he do that? Anyways, it's getting late. If you leave now, you probably won't get to the city until morning. Aye, she's right. These parts are crawling with brigands, I think, and conmen. You wouldn't want to run into one of them after nightfall. I guess you have a point. The tavern has plenty of empty rooms. Why don't you stay here till morning? It's the least I can do after you came all this way. Fine, I'm not exactly in a rush to get back in that carriage. Sweetie, can you help me with that? He paused, his eyes focused on the giant slab of meat on the table. You kill another bear? We barely got through the last one. What are we supposed to do with all this greasy meat? Eat it, that's what it's for. How are you even killing these things? It's not that hard, you just have to keep up with them. For the Lord's sake, you're bloody insane. Why did the scaled lord curse me with a rabid wolf instead of a daughter? This rabid wolf is keeping your family fed. You know how many commoners in Warvencard are starving? Don't talk to me like I'm a child. The two continued their bickering as they went up their staircase. How do you expect to find a good husband while you're out in the woods wrestling bears? Excuse me, men are lining up to court me. I am a goddess. Okay, a goddess of war more like. You're always coming home covered in blood and dirt. So your talk with Flintheart didn't go well? Why can't he understand that all of this is bigger than him and his vendetta? I still have one last thing we could use. Cuthbert. Celeste skipped back downstairs, pausing upon seeing the air between my mentor and me. Oh, we're done with your rooms. You can head upstairs if you want to rest up. Right. Thank you, Celeste. This is a very big inn. Silence followed us up the stairs until we arrived at our rooms. Miss Tamara's hands gripped the handle of the door, but she never turned it. I'm sorry, I didn't expect the discussion to go for that long. It's fine, I understand. I saw you playing chess with Flintheart's daughter earlier. Was everything okay? What do you mean? You're kind of a sore winner when you play. Only when my opponent's a noble. She caught on quickly. She was ridiculously good for a beginner. Playing against her was nice. Well, I suppose you are at that age. No, that's not what I meant. I never really get to play against other players outside the tournaments. Okay, you're 20 years old. You can't be like stuttering like this when when she says stuff like that. And you only ever want to play shogi against me. There's shogi in this world? Because shogi is clearly superior. It's complete anarchy is what it is. You just bring fallen pieces back to life like some kind of necromancer. It adds depth. Dropping adds a dimension of play that isn't present in chess. We both looked at each other silently, but all the tension from before had left. After a few moments, we just both burst out laughing. You really have grown up, haven't you? You must have been only 10 when you suddenly showed up at my house. That was a long time ago. I love the exposition. She stayed silent for a moment. I know that you're just trying to help. Then why won't you let me? Cuthbert, it's not the right time. I'm ready for this, Mr. Mora. You are, I know you are. That just made me raise an eyebrow at her. And what's the issue here? Again, she just stayed silent. Get some rest. You'll need to prepare for the journey tomorrow. I winced at that thought. I'd completely forgotten that I'd have to wrangle those horses again. I opened the door and fell into the bed out inside. And the next day, everyone was dead. It wasn't long before night fell. Between driving that carriage and dealing with those con artists, I was exhausted. I fell asleep, but I felt uneasiness creep into me as the night went on. I felt myself being pulled away, brought elsewhere. Is that the scaled god? Or what was it? The scaled king? I don't know. In every direction I looked, there was nothing, only the glass-like floor I was standing on. I saw my reflection in the floor, which with each step I took, it rippled and shimmered. I knew I was dreaming, but something deep inside me insisted that there was something real about this. Is that Celeste? Found. Whispers echoed through the realm. I spotted the small dark silhouette of a person in the distance. She was silently staring at me and murmuring something under her breath. Does she have... She has like bandaged hands. Okay. Finally found. She repeated the same phrase, almost like a chant. She looked practically giddy in anticipation of something. I finally... sorry? I finally found you, Heavensborn. Okay. She looked a little creepy. I woke up to the sound of shouting from downstairs. I clutched at my chest, my heart was racing, and I was drenched in sweat. It was just a nightmare. I tried to convince myself of that. I shook my head. Something else was happening downstairs. Those voices sounded like Celeste and Flintheart's, and they were only getting louder. Please, just let me explain. I don't want to hear it. They definitely weren't bickering about the bear meat this time. I want you out of my house. Get out! What did she do? After that, there was only silence, followed by someone storming out of the tavern. The front door of the tavern slammed shut, the entire structure swaying from the force. I lay there silent. What could they be arguing about this late at night? It really wasn't any of my business. Hi, Dad. Oh, hello, sweetie. Fernand's expression lit up as his daughter rushed over to him. Sigh. He's a good guy. The door creaked loudly as I eased it open and stepped out of my room. The hallway was completely dark, not a single candle was lit. I stepped forward slowly, careful not to trip over anything. Fernand was trudging up the stairs when I bumped into him. I couldn't see his face, but judging from how he sounded earlier, I probably didn't want to. Sorry. Right, I forgot you two were. His voice trailed off. Is everything okay? Sorry, I'm just going to... I stepped past Cuthbert as I went down the stairs. He barely even noticed. It's a bit suspicious. I made my way to the dining room. There weren't any lights in the streets. It was nearly pitch black. Hello? No answers. I looked at the entrance to the tavern. The door was hanging open. The wooden frame was cracked. I walked through the village streets, but there weren't any lights on. Yes, there were. I regretted not taking a lantern on my way out. I heard a squelch as I accidentally stepped on something that was disgustingly soft. I tried my best to ignore it. You stepped on poop? Celeste? Celeste, where are you? The groan echoed from one of the nearby shacks. A lantern flickered to life from behind the wooden door. An older man stepped out, squinting against the darkness of the night. You got any idea what time it is? He eyed me up and down, taking notice of how I was dressed. This ain't the city, boy. We like our peace and quiet after sundown. Right, sorry. I was just looking for Celeste. Who? Celeste McCoy. She's Flintheart's daughter. Something in his expression shifted. Irritation turned into complete contempt. Do you know her? What do you want with that bastard? That damned mage. Oh, people don't like her because she's a mage? What? Those two probably woke up half the town with their yelling. Look, I just want to make sure that she's safe. Ha, you got nothing to worry about there. Before I could get another word in, she went back into his house in a huff, slamming the door behind him. I just took a breath and continued searching. Oh, Garrick Pierce, transmutation. Same as Celeste. Still have that famous temper, I see. This guy is evil. You! Honestly, I never understood how you could stand living in this gloomy shack. Luxo! Is that a spell to do light? How dare you use that witchcraft in my home? From what I've seen, I'm not the first. You've really been stirring the pot. The Four Pillars don't care what they've been hearing from your rallies. The Four Pillars. Is that right? I'll be sure to bring that up at the next meeting. For Lord's sake, have some sense, Flintheart. At this rate, you're going to bring Lucio Steelwind down on all of us. You may not value your life, but I will not become another one of his casualties. So you came all this way to convince me to stop? End this foolishness now, and no harm will come to you or your family. You have my word. Ha, your word is as good as the dirt you lick off the king's boots. You're a killer, as if I'd ever trust you. Flintheart, please. As someone who once thought of you as a friend, I'm only going to ask you once. Friend? Friend? I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call the likes of you a friend. Get out of my house. I don't have time for you. Okay, I guess since this is the first case, we're going to see who the killer is. I don't think you have much time for anything. Gah! How did he kill him? Did he transform the drink into a sword that pierced him? Because he was stabbed from the front, but he was facing away from him. That's weird. Damn it all. You stubborn fool. Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Rudolph. Yes, sir? By the Scaled Lord. The Scaled Lord, that's what it was. What did you killed him? Alert the Inquisition. Tell them you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure the neighbors heard them yelling at each other. Understood, sir. What am I going to do? Oh, a few hours had already passed, but I finally found her sitting under an old oak tree. She looked just as tired as always, probably even more so. Okay, that's why she has the same type of magic as the other guy, so she could be framed for the same murder. Her eyes were wet and red, but she quickly wiped them with her sleeve as she stood up to meet me. I've been looking for you. Oh, did we wake you up? I just wanted to make sure you were okay. It's nothing, why are you like that all the time? Please just go away. I'm fine, see? She tried to squeeze her lips into a smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. Is it supposed to? We should really head back. It's not safe to be out here this late. What about you? I can take care of myself. Yeah, didn't you see our character info? I just stood there silently for a moment. I'm sure he just lost his temper. You don't know that. Mind your own business. Sorry. She just looked down and said nothing before exhaling. Maybe you're right. It wouldn't feel right to let you walk back alone anyway. She walked past me, leading me back to the tavern. What? We returned but found the tavern surrounded by nice clad in plate armor. Is this wood again? Several carriages were parked outside, and I could see several lights lit within the tavern. Is that the Arcane Inquisition? I guess so. Inquisition? They're an order of knights who investigate crimes committed using magic. Celeste and I shared a glance. Without another word, both of us ran towards the tavern. She quickly outpaced me. What? No! She reached the tavern door and a color drained from her face. Her hand went to her mouth as she stumbled backwards, her body shuddering. Dad? Her voice quivered, tears began to stream down her face. There you are. Orem White. No arcane arts. Estelle stood there, frozen, and I stepped between her and the tavern entrance. Celeste McCoy, by the authority of the Wyvern Guard Crown, I'm placing you under arrest. The knight. Oh, she looks angry. The knight tried to grab her arm, and it was like something flipped inside of her. She slammed her palm into the knight's chest, his plate armor reverberating as she was launched several feet backwards. Can transmutation do that? Three other knights rushed forward, tried to grab her and pin her to the ground. You're gonna be charged for resisting arrest. She let out a guttural scream against them, almost sounding like a feral animal. It looked like it was taking all their strength to keep her pinned down. It was like she was a completely different person. I stood there stunned before shaking myself out of it. What are you doing to her? Let her go! Tyrion. Thanks to Scale Lord, Miss Tomorrow was safe. I knew I recognized him from somewhere. Stay out of her way, or we'll lock you two up right next to her. He let out in a huff, following after the other knights as they slowly dragged Celeste away. Miss Tomorrow, what's going on? Why is the Arcane Inquisition here? I'm not sure, but Thunderheart is dead. What? Oh, that was abrupt. Sure. How many saves do I have? 10? Okay. Save. Yeah. Celeste was going to be detained in Ratholm, Wyvern Guard's capital city. She was apparently the prime suspect in Flintheart's murder. Her case would be pushed to trial within the day. Within the day? Supposedly they discovered traces of magic at the crime scene. This really is like Ace Attorney. Trial is done the same day the murder happens, and it's resolved in 3 days. That honestly just raised even more questions. Also, what do you mean that traces of magic? Can you do that? Can you, like, tell where magic is being used in this world? Miss Tamora and I were determined to get to the bottom of this. The Inquisition, on the other hand, did what they always did. This is ridiculous. She has a right to speak to an attorney. Yeah, well, we can't let you see her until she's been processed. The grumpy and apathetic leader of the Arcane Inquisition. He's had a personal grudge against Miss Tamora for as long as I can remember. Orem White was the commander of the Arcane Inquisition, and Miss Tamora had supposedly run into him many times. He always looked like the textbook definition of someone who was too old for this. I didn't usually accompany Miss Tamora to her crime scenes, but the few times I had, he was always there to run interference. He always looked like he cared more about making trouble for us than actually doing his job. The Inquisition was deep in the nobility's pockets. I'd always assumed that they were paying him to sabotage us. Don't give me that. There's no way you haven't processed her with a trial this close. Yeah, well, you can prove it. Unless you can prove it, I don't need to do anything. Okay, that's a very evil sprite. Oh. We saw you earlier, right? What's with... this is the prosecutor. What's with all of this noise? Oh, The commander's back straightened out, his smirk turning into a winch as the girl walked into the chamber. I think you need to put some pants on, young lady. Whoever she was, she must have been younger than me. Despite that, her voice carried the weight of her authority, something which Orem clearly relented to. Her aura was cold and rigid as stone. Her disposition was probably equally so. Celeste McCoy has a right to counsel, and I know who you are, Ruby Tamora. She turned to Orem. She was almost half his size. Not really, but he was practically flinching at her every word. Oh, well, the girl hasn't been processed yet. She just let out an irritated sigh as she waved him away. Let them chew. What? But let them chew before I chew you in the cell next to hers. Yes, lady, Miss Steelwind. Steelwind? Age 18, a prosecutor from the nobility who hails from House Steelwind, one of the 4 pillar families in Wyvern Guard. She's the daughter of Grand General Lucio Steelwind. Oh, we heard that name. He's the guy that the killer was talking about. Leader of Wyvern Guard's military. It's hard to read her motivations, even with the Eye of Horus. Are some people harder to read with the Eye of Horus? Her outfit kind of reminds... She doesn't look like her, but her outfit kind of reminds me of female Violet from Tree Houses. She gave me a passing glance as she were silently praising me. She walked out of the dungeon without another word. Thank you. Horm grumbled under his breath as he led us to Celeste's cell. I had to wait through a thickening fog of emotion as we descended further into the dungeons. The collective anger and sorrow of the prisoners was choking me. I'd always hated crowds. I could never shut out the storm of thoughts and emotion that came with them. Okay, but I thought you said that you could not read people's thoughts while you were playing chess. Why can't you do the same thing here? Why can't you just not read their thoughts? But I tried my best to keep it together. Celeste was going through a lot more than I was. Oh! Celeste was curled up on the cold floor, arms wrapped around her knees. When she saw us, she scrambled to her feet. What are you doing here? We know about what happened to your father. I'm so sorry, Celeste. I still can't believe it. Thanks. The response came out hollowly. Hollowly? I've never heard that word before. Hollowly? Is that a word? You're the Inquisition's prime suspect in the murder, and they're planning to push your case to trial. You'll be brought to court in a few hours. In a few hours? What? No one told me anything. My mentor coughed in disgust. She was all too familiar with this. They're planning to convict you before you even realize you were on trial. Celeste, Miss Demore is the best defense attorney in Wyvern. She can help you. You've been supporting your family from your work as a mercenary, is that correct? It's just a mercenary? So that's occupation. Okay. From your financial history, it appears that you can afford my services. How do you even know that? That's not important. What matters is that if I'm representing you, your case is as good as won. You don't even know what happened. And tell me. Celeste hesitated, her shoulders tensing at the memory. I got into an argument with my dad, and I have to clear my head. Tyrion found me a bit after that. I think it was a few hours after I left. When we came back, we saw the knights outside. That's when they arrested me. Celeste, if I'm going to be your attorney, I need to know everything that happened. What? They found your sword inside his body, and there were traces of transmutation magic around the crime scene. Your sword? There aren't any other registered mages in Cornhaven. I need you to tell me the truth. I just told you everything that happened. What are you... She looked down confused before her face tightened into a scowl. You actually think I did it, don't you? You think I was the one who killed him? Wait, Mr. Mora, before I left the tavern to look for her, I ran into Flintheart. He was still alive. And I watched time pass between that and when he found her. It was probably about 2 hours, but 2 hours? Okay, that's way longer than I thought. Which means there are 2 hours where she wasn't accounted for. We can work around that, but the prosecution was still... No, I didn't do this. He's telling the truth, Mr. Mora. Celeste will never do something like this, because I've known her for half a day. Cuthbert, you can't just believe every innocent girl who bats her eyes at you. I agree. That is not what this is. Well, did you see that she's innocent? Can you tell me that with certainty? I mean, I can. Just ask her if she's the killer, and I'll use my Eye of Horus, and I'll tell if she's a killer or not. Celeste was being defensive at the moment, too guarded for me to read anything substantial with the Eye of Horus. Oh, okay, I guess you can just do that. I didn't see it, but I know that she's innocent. Look, either way, we need to construct a proper alibi so I can... No, how can I work with you if you don't even believe me? Do you even understand the situation we're in? I know exactly what's happening. My dad's dead, and whoever killed him is still out there. I still can't get over this pride. She looks she looks so angry. She looks like she just had her nuggies taken away. Don't be naive. You're a commoner. You're lucky I'm even here. There isn't a single attorney other than me who will defend someone like you. Yeah, well, what about him? I blinked, confused for a moment, before I realized that she was pointing at me. You're also a defense attorney, right? I am, but he's just a kid, McCoy. He's never even defended the case before. I don't care. At least he doesn't think I'm a murderer. Celeste, hold on. So you can take your attitude and leave. I don't need your help. Fine, have it your way. But when you're staring down the gallows and begging me to appeal a conviction, I'll be charging you triple my rate. Before I could understand what was going on, Mr. Moore turned away and stormed out. As she reached the door, she looked back at me expectantly. I froze. I knew I wasn't in any position to handle a case like this. You're being a bit mean here. That said, I also knew I couldn't leave her to face this alone. I meant to let out this quiet sigh before quietly exiting the dungeons. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you in the middle of that. I can go talk to her. I'm sure she'll come back and take your case. No, I mean what I said. I don't want her help. Celeste, this is serious. The conviction might as well be a foregone conclusion to the courts. Without Mr. Mora, you'll be fine. I not just pulled you into this without asking. If you want to walk away, I'll understand. I'll figure something out. She tugged a few times at the cell door separating us. I could have sworn I saw the metal bars bending. I exhaled slowly. I knew I wasn't ready for this. I can't stand by and do nothing. I'll take your case, if you'll have me. Really? But there's one thing I need you to tell me. The Arcane Inquisition was called to the scene, and I had no idea how they even knew magic can be used, but a presence could only mean one thing. Are you a mage? Yeah, I am. I think you could tell from her clothes. When that villager confronted me before, he called her a bastard. It made a lot more sense now. You have noble blood? What does that have to do with anything? The ability to use magic is hereditary. I see, okay. Almost every mage descends from the nobility in some way. If you have birth parents in the nobility, we might be able to use their influence to our advantage. I don't need anyone's help. I'm a McCoy. That's all I need to know about myself. It seemed best not to push that matter further then. Even so, that's probably why they arrested you. What? Mr. Moore mentioned it earlier. A ton of farmers like Cornhaven wouldn't have any other registered mages. It's a good thing you register with the kingdom. It would have just added one extra charge if you hadn't. But they found traces of magic at the scene of the crime. They had no choice but to suspect you. Are you serious? I'll be honest, I'm not sure how much help I'll really be. Mr. Moore said it herself. I've never defended a client before. Is everything really going to be okay? Why would I say something like that? A defense attorney should be putting a client at ease. But no matter what, I'll get you an acquittal. I think being honest and upfront is more important than putting your client at ease. So long as I breathe, I'll make sure given salvation. What? Like, this is kind of irresponsible to say. Sorry, I used to say that a lot as a kid. Giggle. No, it's okay. Lisa made her laugh. Anyways, take some time to rest up. The trial will begin in a few hours. I couldn't imagine what she was going through. She not only lost her father, but she was also being framed for his murder. This was exactly why I became an attorney, to defend people like her. Stories like hers were far too common, but this time I had the power to change it. She was putting her trust in me. I would make sure she wouldn't regret that. I like even the sprite of the people in the gallery, like turning left and right, is the same. Wait, what? Look at his face. He looks so stupid. Okay. Let's stop here for now. Save. Oh, these are cute. Oh, that's the girl we saw in the dream. Oh, these are some other characters. Who's that? Oh, that's the guy we saw. Yeah, the guy that was 64 years old. I guess that's Celeste. Okay. I gotta say, I think this is a really strong opening. I'm kind of into it. Dare I say, I think this is a better opening than any of the Ace Attorney games. Can I say that? I don't know if I remember all the Ace Attorney games well enough to say that confidently. But this is a really strong opening, I think. I think it did a good job, like, establishing the world, establishing the character. It had a little, like, fun gameplay where we debated the con man. Yeah, that was good. Also, I like the visuals. I like the sprites. I like the backgrounds are really nice. I think even more than the sprites, I've really been liking the backgrounds. Yeah, I'm into this so far. Hopefully the mysteries will be good. I'm a bit wary because obviously mystery and magic are kind of opposites. So making that work is a bit tricky. I think the most important thing is that for this to work, the magic needs to have very specific rules and needs to be very... Like, it can't be just soft magic. Like, it can't be like magic that can do anything. I feel like for this to be a good mystery, the magic has to be constrained. It has to follow a set of rules. That's what the magic in Ace Attorney was. Like, spoilers, I guess, for Ace Attorney. But Spirit Channeling had pretty, like, defined rules, and it did what it could do. Even though it was a bit stupid at times. It's not perfect. But like, in Ace Attorney, all the magic had specific rules. So I hope the magic in that follows this as well. Otherwise, I can't see how you could build a good mystery around magic that can do anything, you know? But yeah, gonna stop here for now. See you next time.